Hello, welcome to class. My name is Benin and I'm a British English teacher. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit about informal connectors in spoken English. First of all, what are connectors? Well, they're these little words in English that we use to join ideas. I'm sure that you will have heard of some of them before. It might be words to join two ideas within the same sentence, for example, but. I speak English, but I don't speak French in the same sentence. Or it could be to join ideas in two separate sentences. For example, I speak English, full stop. However, I don't speak French, right? So these are connectors. One common problem that people have with connectors is that when they're starting to speak English and they've come from a background where they've seen maybe more written English, people tend to use connectors that are a little bit too formal in spoken English. So today, I want to really raise your awareness of the difference between formal and informal connectors and really focus on using these informal connectors for your spoken English. So we're going to start with an example. I'm going to read you a short paragraph about a holiday that I went on, and I'd like you to think about whether the connectors sound natural, a little bit too formal. What do you think? So here's the paragraph. So we had planned to go to Venice on holiday. However, flights were too expensive. Therefore, we decided to go to Évora in Portugal by car. Our hotel was wonderful, and regarding the city, well, it's a very special place. It's very historical, and in addition, it's very easy to walk around. Furthermore, the people there are very warm, polite, and welcoming. In conclusion, it was an amazing trip, and I hope to go back one day. What do you think about those connectors? How do they sound to you? To me, as a native speaker, they sound way too formal for talking about a holiday or for using in spoken English. So let's look at some alternatives we could use to some of these connectors. Let's start with however. However is a pretty formal connector, so it's lovely for your written English, but in speaking you may like to use things more related to but. For example, lots of expressions we can use here. For example, but the thing is, but in the end, but actually, but unfortunately. Okay, so instead of saying, however, the flights were too expensive, we could say, but actually the flights were too expensive, but in the end the flights were too expensive, but unfortunately the flights were too expensive, right? And it just sounds a little bit more natural. That's however. The next one we can look at is therefore. Again, very formal, lovely for your writing, but for spoken English, I would advise using some of these alternatives. We might have that's why, or so in the end, or so actually, right? Or some sort of combination with so. So instead of therefore we decided to go to Évora in Portugal by car, we could say that's why we decided to go to Portugal by car, or so actually we decided to go to Portugal by car. A little bit more natural. And if we look at them regarding is really nice for kind of changing the topic or focusing on a new topic in academic English, but in more daily life we would often say as for or when it comes to. These ones are much more common, much more natural for spoken English. So, our hotel was wonderful, and regarding the city, well, it's a very special place, would become our hotel was wonderful, and as for the city, well, it's a very special place, for example. The next set of connectors we'll look at are alternatives to in addition or furthermore. These are too formal to use when we're speaking unless it's some sort of academic presentation. Some less formal examples I would advise are things like on top of that, another thing is that, also, as well as that, or plus. So, instead of the sentence, it's very historical, and in addition, it's very easy to walk around there. Furthermore, the people there are very warm, polite and welcoming. We could say it's very historical, and on top of that, it's very easy to walk around there. Plus, the people there are very warm, polite and welcoming. And this just sounds so much more natural and good for spoken English. And last of all, in conclusion, a little bit too formal for daily life, I would say. So we could say things, for example, like all in all, in the end, in a nutshell, anyway. So instead of in conclusion, it was an amazing trip and I hope to go back one day, we could say all in all, it was an amazing trip and I hope to go back one day. So let's have a look then at how this whole paragraph would sound with this range of more natural connectors. I'll read it now for you. So, we had planned to go to Venice on holiday, but the thing is, flights were too expensive. So that's why we decided to go to Évora in Portugal by car. Our hotel was wonderful, and as for this city, well, it's a very special place. It's very historical, and as well as that, it's really easy to walk around there. Plus, the people are very warm, polite and welcoming. So all in all, it was an amazing trip and I hope to go back one day. That just sounds a lot more natural for us than the previous version. So my challenge for you is to think of a holiday or a trip that you went on, and you could either record yourself or write it down using some of these informal connectors to structure your ideas a little bit. You're welcome to write it in the chat as well, and I can have a look at it. So I hope that these connectors are useful for you. Do use them in your spoken English. So good luck with that and see you soon. Bye for now.